For the first time, I saw myself naked before the mirror of your eyes and helpless before the x-ray of your words. Like an arrow fired straight to the heart, the flames of guilt danced around my feet, so I fell to my knees. I forgot my place because I laced my eyes with greed and cased my heart with lust. Dust was where he came from. Him was where I came from. Forgetting the purpose of which you orchestrated me, Lord, I danced to the music of the serpent, forgetting that you were my muse. I let Lucifer woo me with songs of pleasure only you could offer. I offer myself on the altar of death as a living sacrifice, and ever since then my eyes has been opened to a new kind of suffering.
Father, it has been thousands of years since I broke the calabash of your trust. And ever since then, I've used its broken pieces to make scars of sin on my skin. You molded me to be the mirror that you look at, but I shattered that image with the lust of my eyes into dust you breathed, and made me to be after your likeness, a living soul. From the crown of my head to the sole of my feet, I was flawless, your most prized creation, a show to that fallen angel that you still had the power to make a living being more beautiful than the stars who would willingly worship you. But I fell your hand like naira to dollar. I fell for sin like a dollar. You rose me from clay, but yet I yearned for sin, impounding myself in his prison, and so the serpent struck my heel. Rather than heed to your voice, I listened to that of Eve. I'm sorry. Again, the stars have aligned in the pitch blackness of this sin-stricken world. It is now another 1,000 years when Eve and I come to see the consequences of our actions. Let me see to my woman.
Adam, image of God, husband of Eve, keeper of the garden, eater of the forbidden fruit. Okorimeta, should I go on?
Eve, mother of all, murderer of all, don't annoy me this evening. Ever since the first day you gave me the wrong fruit to eat, my eyes have been open and I refuse to shut. Money is now a tree, money is now a fruit that grows on trees, and that makes you the root of all evil. Just add L for lust to your name and it makes it evil.
Don't start with me this evening. What is the meaning of this? You stand here blaming me. Were you blind when you saw the fruit, or you didn't know that it was the fruit that God told you not to eat? You stand here blaming me. Poor excuse of a man. Didn't you see the devil pass you by and you call yourself the keeper of the garden? Keeper of the garden indeed.
I've been keeping that garden perfectly for days before you came by. You broke forth from my marrow, yet your growth factored me sorrow. From my ribs you came. You were supposed to bone face for that serpent, yet you danced to his sweet melody of music. Your face smiled to his blues of ocean deep lies. He jazzed your senses and made you forget the instruction of your rock of ages, and he made your hips hop into the trap music of his life.
And you fell into mine, right?
Oh, so you admit that to give me that fruit to eat was a trap, right? You were created on this earth to be my Venus while I be your Mars, but instead you became a trap that I flew right into. Venus fly trap.
Come and shut your trap. You are created as the father of all, yet you let us father from God. Have you forgotten your role? God made you head over us, but you became leg and followed me. No wonder your sons follow brain damaging trends. You poor excuse of a man. I can still see the fruit stuck in your throat. Adam, swallow your pride and accept that you're a coward. You blame me before God. I forgot our vows.
What's vow?
That I,
Adam, took you to my lawfully wedded wife, to have and to hold, from the day the sun sets in your eyes, and I met you from me, for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health, until death do us part. Death has done us part, partition us and our children from God. Humankind has received the full and not part payment for our sins ever since. Eve, I'm sorry. I should have been there to protect you from that Decepticon called the serpent. He transformed us from our Optimus Prime body of immortality into this poor excuse of human flesh, ridiculed with holes of sicknesses.
Yes, Adam. Let us stop going back and forth at each other. This was the same reason we fell in the first place. I know that I flaunted God's first order because I wanted to taste something other than the goodness of God.
Let us look at the consequences of our actions.
Adam, thousands of years have gone since our rebellious acts, and our daughters have forgotten their identities, laid on the altar of men, seeking value as they devalue themselves on their bed. In search of excitement, they place themselves in the ravaging embrace of men's desire. They've used makeup to make up the image of God on their faces, looking like a low-budget remake of the Most High. Our daughters have sold their values to men who bought them for a lesser price, and now they pay the price. They will forever be sacrifices to God, and and each drop of menstrual blood on their thighs will testify to this.
Our boys have become murderers of men, caning their able brothers with machetes and denying to be their keepers. They are now keepers of idols, and not just of graven images, but images of lust and lasciviousness. The other day, Eve, I saw one of our sons, created in the same image of God as we were now, as a repercussion of our introduction of sin into God's creation. That boy was having his recreation time with pornography, perverting his poor mind with sights meant for only man and wife. Porn had become his hub. For every new vid, his eyes had become red tube. That boy already has masters in the art of masturbation, falling into the same bait of the serpent as we did, not knowing that his mind had become degraded to that of a primitive clip hunter. And for every video that he watched, it will make him view our daughters as only sex tools. Why do you think that the men of today are never gentle?
I listen to the whispers of the serpent, and now, like me, our daughters will forever listen to the whispers of poisonous men wrapped in human flesh. Our daughters don't know their worth because I dropped mine when I picked up that fruit. Our daughters place themselves in the arms of men like you, Adam, who forgot your writer's head by conceiving with the desires of your belly. No matter the amount of alcohol my sons drink, their bare bellies will never be satisfied.
Our boys have become smarter in the heart of swindling, having the liver to scam their fathers, forgetting that in the long run they will reap what they sow. Their lungs have become cavities where they raise the altars of cocaine, and the aisles where they marry Joanna. They now find their worth in the number of girls that they can defile on their beds and in their offices. They boast in their circles that they tried all angles to get at her, as though the women God created were to be regarded as trophies.
Such square heads.
Oh, but it's not like my sons are totally to blame. Therefore shall a man leave his father and mother and shall cleave unto his wife. But your daughters always seek to reveal their cleaved ages, drawing the eyes of men of all ages from looking up to Jesus to looking at their bosom. And our children roam the earth, giving heads and rainbow kisses to each other. Our sons want to be men and our daughters want to be women, disregarding the image in which God molded them.
Remolding themselves in the image of their lust.
Lusting after temporal things, discarding parental advice leading to frontal busing.
Selling their eternity for 5 minutes of fake pleasure.
Eating forbidden fruits, unripe bananas and sour melons.
And our daughters clothe themselves with nakedness, wearing nothing but shame, and they call it a trend.
And the trend now is for our sons to uncover that nakedness beneath our daughters' clothes before the age of 18. A teenage boy no longer kills Goliath, but now kills his fellow boys in the name of cultism. They can no longer sit down, be humble, and study to show themselves approved in school.
But they find comfort in party and politics. No wonder their CGPAs look like a football score, 2-0.
Our children hate to hear about the integral part of their lives that differentiates them from other animals. They hate to hear about God absconding from church like it's the plague. What have we done?
Adam, is there hope for our children? They've become better than us in this game of sin.
They no longer hide, but they now seek sin openly. The social media is now a card that the Prince of Darkness plays so well, Solitaire. That joker has made them kings of themselves and like Vashti, slay queens of vanity. This is what in a Game of Thrones. But Eve, from your womb was promised a seed that will germinate with stem cells that will lead to a dysplasia, removing all the cancer cells that are sin-stricken in the skin of our children, and will cause a neoplasia, a new place in their hearts for God to grow.
The serpent has beaten my children, made them poisonous, but out of my belly shall come a redeemer to deem them fit of standing before God, and the wells of their hearts shall no longer be thirsty for purpose.
Let us tell our children that there is a redemption for them to camp in, a mountain of fire waiting to burn in their hearts for God, a deeper life than what they now know. Let us tell them about the advent of the Savior that was promised, Christ, who is to be their embassy to God's throne.
A Savior was born, a new Adam, a Redeemer, a man who would bring peace to the labor of my daughters,
and to the turmoil of my sons.
The man God spoke of in Genesis 3:15.
Sons, your identity is found in him, the truth, naked on the cross, blood dripping to wash away your iniquities.
Daughters, know that you're created for worship, and no man can love you better than Christ, who laid down his whole life and not just a rib for you.
Eve, I pray that our children will learn from our sin of disobedience and will follow the man on the cross.
Adam, I pray that our children will learn from our sin of discontentment and know that it is only the bread of heaven that can fill them up.
And from now on to the next 1,000 years, when the stars align and we meet again, our children shall know that their natural habitat is in worship in obedience, and anything outside that is synthetic.